Hi guys, it's John with Metric Works. I have my 2007 Toyota Tacoma. She's in the garage. We're going to do a bit of maintenance. I got my coveralls on. We'll see how far we get with this stuff. I'm going to start off with a simple oil change. I know there's probably many videos out there of people doing the oil change on the 4-liter Toyota motor. But I don't have one out there. So let's get at it and go for an adventure. Guys, I'm going to change the oil on this 4-liter Toyota motor. I'll be using a Toyota OEM filter. As you see, there's the part number. You're going to need a filter wrench. Now this style is a strap that goes around the filter. You put it on the end of a ratchet. It's basically a universal oil filter wrench. I like these because, you know, I end up working on all different types of stuff with, you know, filters for diesel motors to small gasoline motors. And this one seems to do the job on pretty much anything that I come across. The other thing I like to do with this Toyota 4-liter motor is I get a piece of wire. It doesn't have to be wire. It can be anything kind of long and pointy. So the idea of this wire is you have obviously your oil filter here on the side of the motor on the right hand side, and underneath your oil filters you can see here there's a catch. So when you take the filter off, oil is obviously going to come out of the oil filter and it's going to get caught up in this trough here. I like just to take a wire and feed it through the hole, the drain hole in the bottom of this, so I know it's free. I actually just dropped it right through it. So on the other side of this this catch, I have a red Solo cup. I squat that in between the alternator pulley and the rad hose. Hopefully this is in line for when I unscrew this filter. It's going to catch the oil. Let's see what happens here. Now I previously loosened this so I wouldn't have to struggle. There you go. You can see, there you go. So it's very important to, well, if you're trying not to make a mess, it's very important to clean out that that drain hole and place some kind of catchment container underneath. Guys, you can see the red Solo cup did its job. It caught all the drops of oil when I removed the oil filter. I took a clean rag and wiped off the mounting surface for the oil filter. I also opened up the new oil filter and put some grease around the seal. There's an O-ring seal on the end of these. Now the grease I used is white lithium grease. It doesn't matter what type of grease you use, just, you know, you don't need to put too much on there. You could even use new motor oil, would be fine. It's just to keep that rubber from sticking to the surface for removal next time. So all you got to do is reach in there and thread it on. I like to just kind of do it hand tight, snug it up. I'll probably get the wrench and just snug it up, make sure it's all tight. Now we'll move on to draining the oil out of the bottom of the motor. So guys, this is the base pan of my Tacoma. The base pan has a drain bolt in it. It's a 14 millimeter. This drain bolt, I see people online not knowing where it's to. Some people go and look at the transmission drain bolt. Well, this is the one you're looking for. It's easily referenced by its proximity to the cross member here. It's right in front of the cross member. You guys get a good look at it. So I've already loosened it. Still finger tight. I'm gonna drain this. And guys, I am way overdue for an oil change. So what I have done here is I have a drain pan underneath. Obviously it's there to catch the oil. When changing your oil, it's good practice to run the engine up to temperature. You get more particles and debris out of your oil in your base pan when it's hot instead of when it's cold. So I'm going to take the drain plug, I'm going to wipe it down, make sure it's clean. Inspect, there's a crush washer that when you tighten this to torque, it crushes the crush washer and provides a seal so the oil doesn't leak out. I'm going to inspect that also. Then give the bottom of the base pan a clean wipe off and install the plug again, and we'll fill it up and go from there. Alright guys, after finished draining the engine oil out of the base pan, I wiped it off, wiped off the drain plug, reinstalled, torqued it, and then I took the rag and I wiped off the base pan so there's no drips of oil, so I can easily tell if that drain plug is making a good seal. So guys, right behind the oil filter that we changed earlier is your oil fill cap. You just want to unscrew this. So the Toyota 4-liter, it takes SAE 5W30. You're going to want to get a funnel to use to put the funnel down in the end of this to pour your oil in so you don't make a mess everywhere. The oil that I'm using today is Motormaster Supreme 5W30. Probably going to get some flack for using this oil. It's not a brand name oil. It's just the generic Canadian Tire stuff. Guys, this truck has almost 400,000 kilometers on it. It hasn't seen a good life before I had it. This stuff is fine for this motor. It serves its purpose. Probably change it more frequently than maybe if I had a high mileage oil in it, but for the cost and value, it can't be beat. So let me go grab a funnel and open up this oil, and we'll get to pouring it in. Guys, you can see I got my funnel set up and I'm pouring some oil in. I should have mentioned before that this 4-liter Tacoma motor takes 5.9 liters. And conveniently, most of the major oil manufacturers, they provide a 5-liter jug of oil, so you're down on oil. So just remember, when you're picking up oil for your Tacoma for your oil change, you're going to need more than 5 liters. Pick up an extra one, or do like I did. I picked up another 5-liter and use a bit out of that one, and probably change the oil in the generator or something with it. But yeah. More than 5 liters, 5.9. Guys, to check the oil, the dipstick is on the left-hand side of the motor. It's this, got a yellow top on it. You want to pull it out. You want to give it a clean off with a wipe off with a clean rag. So I filled up the oil. It takes 5.9 liters. I put 5 in it. I started up the truck and let it idle for a couple of minutes just to get the oil circulated around the motor. Fill up the new oil filter, which was obviously empty. This helps get a more accurate oil reading. So if you can see here, I don't know if you guys can see due to the glare, but we're down a tiny bit of oil. Alright guys, let's have another look at this. Stuck the dipstick back in with it after I cleaned it off. As you can see, we are down a bit of oil. If you can see those 2 marks, the oil needs to be up to the upper mark. There you go. This is the upper mark that I'm talking about. If you can see, this is the oil level. So it's roughly about right there. And then this is your absolute minimum. You don't want to be running around with your oil down around this mark. So let me grab the other 5 liter and throw it in, stick the dipstick back in, and we'll see what else we are going to do tonight. So guys, the last thing you want to do is have a look around. We had took the old oil filter off, we installed the new one. You just want to make sure after it's running a while that it's not weeping any oil out through. The same thing with the drain plug and the base pan. You certainly don't want to have oil weeping out. Just take a good look and make sure there's no leaks and check your oil regularly.